Sweet children, you have to look after the sacrificial fire created by Shiv Baba. This is an unlimited sacrificial fire for attaining self-sovereignty. Which children have respect for this sacrificial fire? So it's a sign that you actually respect the yajna. Answer: the children who know the specialty of this sacrificial fire understand that through it, they change from shells into diamonds. Through it, they change from shells into diamonds. The whole of this old world is to be sacrificed into this yajna, into it. Even your old bodies have to be sacrificed into it. You have to sacrifice, this is my body, into the yajna by doing the 4 subjects. That is how you destroy I, me, and mine. And of course, I, me, and mine, somewhere, somehow, is why you're experiencing blockage in yoga. The ego of I, me, and mine, with more detail, of course. Don't perform any actions against the law through which there would be obstacles to the sacrificial fire. So don't be silly and create obstacles in Baba's task or even relationships because you create obstacles. And the burden of that obstacle, not cooperating, thinking you know, not listening, repeatedly using your weaknesses, disobedience, all that stuff. You create karmic burden for the obstacle you're creating. Even just being a bad example. It's when you pay such attention that you can have respect for the yajna. The same attention you have on caring for the yajna is the same attention you have about caring about your stage. Song: Mother, oh mother, you are the bestower of fortune for the world. Om Shanti. You children heard the song. Those poor people who composed the song don't even know who the mother is. The mother is obviously Shiv Baba or Brahma Baba, could also be Mama. But then he refers to this. They have heard the name Jagadamba, World Mother, but no one apart from you children knows who she is or what she did when she was here. So based on that follow-up line, then they don't even know the mother should have been capitalized. They think it's Jagadamba, which is true to a point, but they don't know how that is true. That's bhakti, right? Since there is the world mother, there must also be the father and daughters as well as sons. Those who go to Jagadamba, the idol, do not have this awareness in their intellects. They just simply worship the idol. They beg in front of the goddess without any realization of who they're in front of. So you ask for help from your seniors, but you have no awareness, one, who the senior is. As a soul, their relationship with Baba, whatever. You just beg, ask for help. So they beg in front of the goddess. This is an imperishable sacrificial fire of the knowledge of murder in which the horse is sacrificed to attain self-sovereignty. The creator is the mother and father, uppercase. And the same applies to you. You too are creators of this sacrificial fire. You, the children, are also creators, right? We create the kingdom. Baba created us. You have to look after this sacrificial fire very well. There should be a lot of respect for this sacrificial fire. A sacrificial fire is looked after very well. This is the head office, and it has many branches as well. Mama, Baba, and you children all become like, all of us become like
diamonds.
From shells, diamonds, in the future through this sacrificial fire. By surrendering our vices, ego of I, me, mine, we then ultimately become diamonds, pure. Therefore, you have to look after such a sacrificial fire with
a lot of love and care.
The other word he used, love and respect. So what's blocking you from, being so dedicated to the yajna like that? Lack of love and respect, not that you have none, but lack of love and respect to realize the yajna only gets stronger the more you renounce ego. Okay? Let alone do you even understand the maryadas and principles that are the foundation of the yajna. You got the general ones for sure. How much to practice those, that's another story. There should be so much love for it. This is the sacrificial fire of our Mama Jagadamba. The sacrificial fire of Mama and Baba is also our sacrificial fire. But I keep telling you, defamation has so much fortune in it for you, right? If it's repeatedly happening, you get to repeatedly go deeper and deeper into seeing any influence of I, me, and mine. So you get purer if you actually learn the lesson. So it's a good thing. But most of you can't take defamation at all. Some are not able to accept invitations because they don't have time. So invitations should be then given to others. The name of it is the sacrificial fire of the knowledge to attain self-sovereignty. And literally the full rest of it is by sacrificing the horse, the body. Your old bodies too have to be sacrificed into the sacrificial fire. He says, Ashrima, the direction, belong to the Father. Those words could simply just be surrender. If you surrender, you belong to the Father. Does Baba consider that you belong to him? Yes. Does he consider you surrendered? No. Unless you surrender. This sacrificial fire is not a building. This is an unlimited aspect. It is the sacrificial fire into which the whole world is to be sacrificed. As you progress further, you will see just how much regard there is for this yajna. Many here don't have regard for the yajna, either intentionally or unintentionally. They may not even know they're having disregard. There are so many children of the sacrificial fire. Children continue to be born. There should be so much respect for this sacrificial fire, but there are many who don't value it at all. This is such a great yajna in which human beings change from
Shells into
shells into diamonds, from corrupt beings into elevated beings. This is why Baba says you may continue to create sacrificial fires, but so you can create sacrificial fires, but of course we're not supposed to really do that because that's a bhakti thing, right? If even one person becomes elevated through that, then that is great fortune. So if you hear create sacrificial fires, then that would mean like create a sacrificial fire wherever you are, meaning like a center or whatever, and give them the opportunity to sacrifice the ego into that sacrificial fire. There are hundreds of thousands of temples, etc. No one becomes elevated there. Here you only need to have 3 square feet of land. Anyone who comes here should be able to transform this life totally. There should be so much honor given to this sacrificial fire. Many children write to Baba, Baba, should I open a sacrificial fire in my home? Yeah. So that's what he's referring to. You can create many sacrificial fires, not bhakti ones. Baba replies, Achacha, you may make that into a land of the sacrificial fire. Someone or other will benefit. This sacrificial fire has great importance. This is the land of the sacrificial fire. Will children continue to benefit others? There has to be a lot of respect for such a sacrificial fire, but they don't have that much regard for it because of not having this full knowledge. There are many, so the basis of surrender is based on knowledge and eventually yoga, right? So if you don't have full knowledge, you don't understand, one, that you're disrespecting the yajna, and 2, you don't even understand what it's supposed to look like to respect the yajna due to lack of knowledge. There are many who cause obstacles to this sacrificial fire. This is Shiv Baba sacrificial fire. It's not Brahma Baba's, it's not Mama's, it's not Dadi's. The mother and father are together. You don't receive anything from this Mama and Baba. Everything you receive is from the unlimited Father. So this is why I share details with you about what should it look like. If you truly are surrendered to the yajna, there is no question of fear or desire. Right? Physically, you can't have fear and desire, because fear and desire is what you haven't surrendered. If you don't have fear or desire, you should be able to recognize what you're supposed to do, what role do you need to play to fix things that are wrong in the yajna. To dismiss the significance of things, or to not look at the weakness that is in you that's facilitating that, that would be a lack of surrender. And hence, if you haven't conquered ego, you don't even know what part you haven't surrendered yet. Everything you receive is from the unlimited Father. He is the only one. Mama and Baba are bodily beings. The incorporeal one doesn't have a body of his own. Therefore, the Father says, don't become a slave of the corporeal one. Constantly remember me alone. This Baba also remembers me. People remember Ram, Krishna, Brahma, etc. Those pictures they have shown. However, it isn't like that. There, no one remembers anyone. Once they have received their reward, what need would there be for them to remember anyone? We have become impure, and we therefore have to remember him in order to become pure. The praise is of just the one. The praise of this one is because of that one, capital O. You don't have to remember any bodily beings. You receive this introduction through a bodily being, but you still have to remember
Shiva.
that one, capital O. Baba too is a bodily being. He, Shiva, gives the introduction of everyone. But there are many senseless children who say they can take this knowledge directly through Shiv Baba through inspiration. So you need a very close relationship with Brahma Baba. You have to regularly be talking to Brahma Baba to understand what Shiv Baba is talking about. Okay? So when you're finding difficulty in your progress, despite you have Shiv Baba giving you power, and he said this, Shiv Baba gives power, but you need direct experience of yoga with Brahma Baba to get details on how should you apply the knowledge to the situation you're in. So you can't solve any of these problems without both of them giving you power. Shiv Baba, power, and Brahma Baba, power of experience. Baba too is a bodily being, Brahma Baba. He gives this introduction to everyone, but there are many senseless children who say they can take this knowledge directly from Shiv Baba through inspiration. If it were like that, what need would there be for that one, capital O, to enter this one's chariot? Which is how they treat Brahma Baba, but they obviously don't understand the significance of Shiv Baba entering Brahma Baba's body. There are many who think, what connection do I have with this corporeal one? The Father says, Man Man above, remember me. Well, I don't know. What connection do you have with Adam? How could you not be connected to Adam? He's first man. What connection do you have with Lakshmi Narayan? Narayan, right? Vishnu. You must have a connection, because if you say, I don't have a connection with Narayan, guess what? Go direct to Silver Age. Like, obvious. However, he says that through this one, he says that through this one, does he not? Any word he's speaking is through Brahma Baba. And so you just need a subtler intellect to understand how that's still going on now, even though Brahma Baba is object. Every word we're listening to is through Brahma Baba. Only those who are to sit on the throne number-wise will maintain regard. Mama and Baba will be the first ones to sit on the throne of the kingdom, and you then have to follow them. Many subjects have to be created. The status is also very high. There's no question of fear in this. When a person goes in an airplane for the first time, he's afraid. Some even go to the moon. It's a matter of practice. However, there is not going to be any benefit through that. Only you understand this. They think that they will create their kingdom on the moon. However, nothing like that's going to happen. You children understand the downfall. We will never colonize the moon. We will never colonize Mars. Boy, they're wasting a lot of time.
Money.
You children understand about the downfall and the rise. There are pictures that show Lakshmi Narayan, how Lakshmi Narayan used to rule. Look how poor Bharat is today. This is something real. Some people have written it themselves. It should be written in the picture of the ladder. There the palaces will be sparkling with diamonds. Images of shells should be used for buildings here. Previously, they had shells. In the Gurudwara, they used to keep shells. Now no one even leaves money anymore. The picture of the ladder is very good. You can write a great deal on it. There should also be a picture of the children together with Mama and Baba. At the top, there should also be a tree of souls. New pictures will continue to be made. It will be easy to explain how the downfall takes place and how there is then the rise. We will go to the incorporeal world and go into the corporeal world. It's very easy to explain this. If someone doesn't understand, you can understand that it's not in their fortune. The drama has to be seen. And should you see the drama?
The detached observer.
As a detached observer, you children should have a lot of respect for this yajna. You know, this you should churn today. What does it mean to have respect for the yajna? Following Srimad is the bare minimum. To take even, so that's why I've told you, every time you disobey, break a Srimad, you're disrespecting Baba, you're disrespecting the yajna. That is why you get so much karma. To take even a pesa of the sacrificial fire and give it to someone else without the mother and father's permission is a great sin. You are my children, and you can be given whatever you need at any time. Why should you keep anything more than you need? Only desire, right? Greed. She was talking about this. When you live as a trustee, there's no I mean mine. There's no question of greed. But she said so many people have so much greed, even in yajna. You think that you might perhaps not have it later. However, by keeping it with you, your conscience bites because you are doing something against the law. You can receive whatever you want at any time. The Father says at the end, anyone can die suddenly. Whatever sins you commit, all of that rubbish will appear in front of you at the end. This is why I tell you, those of you who are submitting your charts, I don't look at it like and react to it and say, oh my God, they're still doing that, or they're not doing this, or whatever. It's none of my business. My job is to make sure you tell the truth to Baba. That's what I get out of it. You know, I get fortune for that. Bring you closer to God by getting you to realize you have to tell the truth. Let alone if you don't give your charts. At the end, anyone can die suddenly. Whatever sins you commit, all of that rubbish will appear in front of you at the end. This is why Baba always says, don't allow there to be any confusion within you. When your heart is clean, he said the other day, when your heart is true, nothing will appear in front of you in the final moments. So if something negative or impure comes in front of you, it's because there's still some dirt in the heart connecting you to that. So your yoga gets broken. You continue to receive everything from this sacrificial fire. There are many children who have a lot of money. They are told, when there is a need, Baba says, when there is a need, I will ask for it. They say, Baba, whenever there is a need, we are sitting here to provide. Whatever you need, Baba will provide. Although they don't stay pure and don't observe the precautions about food and drink, so they don't follow dharnas, they do pledge their wealth, all the wealth that they have. Baba, I have a lot of wealth. It is sitting idle and would be lost like that anyway, meaning in destruction, whereas other people could eat from it. Therefore, just ask for it whenever you want. Baba replies, what am I going to do with it? If buildings have to be built, the money comes by itself. So what's he saying?
He doesn't need the money directly. Don't give it to Baba. Like use it for service, do something, and
That's the less important point of what he said.
He shouldn't have to ask for it.
He should not have to ask. You just ask, Baba. No, that's not giving.
mhm.
And nor is that surrendered. What am I going to do with it? If buildings have to be built, the money comes by itself. There are many children sitting in their own homes. Some children also claim a high status, just sitting at home, not being inside a center or yet. The status of the subjects is no less. Many people, many wealthy people are much wealthier even than the kings. In Silver Age, for sure, not obviously in Golden Age. And in the Locket world, that is true. This is why there should be no such thoughts inside of you. You made a promise, Baba, whatever you feed us. However, when you don't follow that, there is degradation of you. You don't realize that. How many Srimats you break a day? That's when your stage is going down. That's degradation. Further from Baba, further from purity, of course, that's degradation. Is it as gross as Locket people not following Srimat? No, but it's still degradation. On a path that is for total ascension, elevatedness, that's a big deal for an effort maker. The Father has come to grant salvation. If you don't claim high status, that would be called degradation. You didn't claim Lakshmi Narayan status, 108 status, because you spent a lot of time degrading during the confluence age. You spent a lot of time elevating also. It's, plus minus, right? There are many wealthy people there too. Some claim a high status, others claim a low status. You children should make effort according to Srimad. By following your own manbat, you deceive yourselves. Because you think it's okay, I just didn't follow that, it's no big deal, but Baba's saying you're actually degrading. The sacrificial fire of this knowledge, created by Shiv Baba. See, because what's the whole premise of Raj Yoga? The whole premise of Raj Yoga is that in body consciousness, you do wrong action that incurs karma. The burden of that action, one, comes back to you, and two, internally, the effect of that action is it is reducing your purity. You're actually degrading. You're empowering your vices. You all understand this. That's why I said you should have got the answer in seconds. It's called the imperishable sacrificial fire of this knowledge of Rudra, in which the horse is sacrificed to attain sovereignty, self-sovereignty. Shiv Baba comes and gives you self-sovereignty. If it's not in their fortune, if they are not going to glorify the name, then good points don't emerge from their lips. Points emerge, but they're not the good points, and they're not the deepest points. Not powerful points filled with truth and purity. They don't explain to anyone else. It would be said that it is still going to take time for Baba's name to be glorified. Because of this, when you explain to others, you forget the main points. It also has to be explained. So there's one, retention of the points. There's another, fully understanding the points. And then thirdly, on the basis of fully understanding, applying it in the form of you can explain it to anybody. This empirical sacrificial fire is of the knowledge of Rudra, in which the horse is sacrificed to attain self-sovereignty. You can even write on the board, the whole of this old world is to be
Sacrificed.
into this sacrificial fire, and the Mahabharata war is just ahead for this. If you want to claim the status of self-sovereignty before destruction takes place, then come inside and claim it. You can write a great deal on the board. The aim and objective is also included in that. Down below, write, you can receive the status of self-sovereignty. The writing should be as clear as possible so that anyone who reads it is able to understand. Baba gives you directions. So create such boards. Definitely write these words. As you make further progress, there'll be a lot of impact of this sacrificial fire. There'll be as many storms as there will be impact in the yajna. It is said the boat of truth will rock, but it will never sink. You have to go to that ocean of milk. You have to go to that ocean of milk. Therefore, your heart should not be attached to this ocean of poison. Don't waste your time chasing after those who don't take this knowledge. The explanation is very, very easy. You were worthy of worship deities, have now become worshippers. The Father says, constantly remember me alone, and the alloy will be removed. Your sins will be burnt away. There is no other method. This is the correct method. This is the correct method, but because there's a lot of body consciousness, you don't stay in yoga. When body consciousness finishes, you are able to stay in yoga. You will then reach your karmatit stage. At the end, you should not remember anything. Some children have so much attachment to certain things, don't even ask. They don't remember Shiv Baba at all. Such a father has to be purposely remembered. It is said, let your hands do the work and let your heart remember the Father. Scarcely any of you are able to remember Baba in this way. Whilst doing things, keep your mind connected with Baba. One can tell everything from their behavior. They don't have regard for the sacrificial fire. This sacrificial fire has to be looked after very well. To look after it means to...
You receive blessings?
To look after it means to please Baba. When you please Baba, you get blessings. You need to be cautious in every respect. The poor give their pennies to the sacrificial fire, in which they become multimillionaires. There are mothers who have nothing, but they still have 1 or 2 rupees or half a rupee, and they donate it to the sacrificial fire, right? That's just like so, I don't know, royal, noble, selfless, whatever word you want to use. And they become multimillionaires because they bring it with great love, devotional feelings, and happiness. The Father says, so for me, I always told you, it's like I realized knowledge is wealth. Seva is earning me great fortune. And I thought, I want to be wealthy in the cycle. So that's why I went so like crazy extreme in knowledge and seva. And of course, Dharma, you have to change, but that one takes longer. Father says, I am the Lord of the poor. I have come for you, children. Some bring half a rupee and say, Baba, put a brick in the building in my name. Sometimes they even bring 2 handfuls of grain. They receive so much in return. Each grain becomes equal to a gold coin. It isn't that you have to sit and donate to the poor. Those people donate to the poor. There are many poor people like that in the world. If they were all to come here and sit here, they would spoil one's head. Many ask if they can surrender themselves to the sacrificial fire. However, they have to be accepted with great care. Can't just let anybody surrender. It should not be that they come into the sacrificial fire and then create chaos. Chaos. You have to become very charitable souls in this sacrificial fire. A lot of caution has to be observed. There has to be a lot of regard for this sacrificial fire from which we receive the livelihood for our bodies. And we're earning fortune for every lifetime. We're earning the basis of earning every fortune in every lifetime because knowledge is the basis of wealth. To give anyone money that has been given to the sacrificial fire, to give anyone personally money from sacrificial fire is great sin. So that's why you can't give it to beggars. You can't even lend it to your relatives if you're surrendered. This money is for those who are changing from shells into diamonds. Those who are engaged in doing God's service. However, donating to the poor and performing charity have been taking place for birth after birth. Whilst coming down, you only continue to become sinful souls. You children also hold exhibitions in small villages in order to give the Father's introduction. If even one poor person emerges, that too is very good. There is no expense in that. Lakshmi Narayan claimed the kingdom. What expense did they incur? None at all. They didn't spend anything to claim the sovereignty of the world. So they had the greatest fortune because they gave so much fortune and wealth to so many, but they didn't have to spend anything much, right? Very little expenditure in those days for seva. Those people fight so much amongst themselves. They spend so much on explosives, etc. There's no question of any expense here. Claim the sovereignty of the world in a second without spending even as much as a shell. Remember Alpha and then Beta. The kingdom is yours. The Father says, as much as possible, please the Lord with your true hearts, and you'll become masters of the land of truth. No falsehood can continue here. You have to remember Baba. Don't think I am Baba's child anyway. There's great effort needed to have remembrance, accurate remembrance. Yog-yukt. If any sinful action is performed, there is great loss. Your intellect would not be able to remain stable. Baba's experience in this, Baba continues to tell you that some children consider themselves to be very clever. However, Baba says, great effort is required. So if your cleverness isn't leading to greater effort, then you're too clever for your own good. Great effort is required. Maya creates many obstacles. Acha, you sweetest beloved, long lost and now found children, love, remembrance, and good morning. From the mother and the father, Bap Dada. Today, special mother and father, Bap Dada. The spiritual father says namaste to his spiritual children, and
Spiritual children say namaste to the spiritual father.
essence for Dharma. Number 1, have a lot of respect for this yagya of the knowledge of Rudra. Rudra Gyan Yagya. Cooperate in creating a very pure and powerful atmosphere in this sacrificial fire. Look after it with a lot of love. 2, don't keep anything hidden with you. When your heart is clean, all your hopes are fulfilled. You don't have obstacles, your hopes are fulfilled. Every pesa of this yagya is invaluable. So don't waste it. Don't break Baba's things, all that stuff. Look after it with
A
a
lot of
lot of
love.
love. So why do you break Bubba's things? That time, no love in your heart for Yagya. Cooperate and make this sacrificial fire grow. Blessing. May you constantly keep all three aspects of time in front of you and become victorious and successful in every task you do. So he said today, many cooperate with their wealth, right? But they don't surrender and follow all the disciplines. Obviously, they'll receive the return of that wealth, but they can't get an elevated status because the status is based on Marianas. Those who are sensible in the world consider the beginning and the end of everything before they take any steps. Be Trikaldashi, and then you will be victorious and successful. Those who are sensible in the world consider the beginning and the end of everything before they actually take steps, before they execute. How many do that? In the same way here too, before you children carry out a task, first of all, keep all three aspects of time in front of you and then act. Do not just look at the present and maybe 5 minutes ahead or 1 day ahead or whatever, right? But have unlimited understanding, obviously, of the cycle and karma, and perform every action and speak every word on the basis of having faith in victory and knowing the three aspects of time. You will then be said to be spiritual and extraordinary. Slogan: stay away from limited supports and make the one Father your support, and you will be able to go across. Avyat Sigma. Some children think that they know themselves and that they are fine. I'm okay, my stage is good, I'm fine. That others don't know them or recognize them, that others don't know who they truly are or recognize, but that they will eventually be recognized. So just see what happens as you move forward. It's also a sweet sleep of carelessness for a soul who is an embodiment of this knowledge and embodiment of remembrance. Those children whose foundation of faith is strong can never be hidden. Eventually you'll be discovered, recognized, whatever. They remain constantly
Carefree.
carefree. They are fearless and carefree. Om Shanti.